beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me again on another Conscious Evolution. Today's stream topic is about value. About what we value in this world, about how we're valued in this world, about the values we have inside of ourselves as we are in this world. Unfortunately, last night we had another break-in. There's a loose hinge on one of the windows, and they did come through that one. Inside our home, they stole a battery, that EcoFlow battery that you friends helped me get when we had that hectic load shedding, like 12 hours a day load shedding. They stole that. They stole my laptop, the portal through which I played in the world of The Witcher. I became a monster slayer, saving the peasants. They were so grateful. They stole John's laptop as well. They stole the TV. And there are other things. But those are like the high value items. It's time to leave. It is time. It is time to leave. And as I say that, a butterfly flies past me. Maybe I should say it's time to transform, right? A butterfly reaches a point inside of its own journey as well where it realizes it's time to leave this cocoon I'm in. And I have been resisting leaving this cocoon because I don't know if it was comfortable necessarily, but it felt right. It felt right that I stay despite the struggles that I knew this place would bring me. It is time to leave. It will be happening within the next month and a half. 45 days from now, I'll live somewhere else. Strangely enough, I had this conversation with a friend last night. Not Christian, David. You've met David. He's been on stream before. I had this conversation with David about going and staying with him for a while. Literally last night. I didn't know I was going to get robbed again, but that conversation was had. And I jokingly say to him, oh, bro, you just want someone that loves bonsais as much as you do. So someone can water your bonsais when you're not at work. When you're not at home, and he laughs at it, and it's like there's a kind of like an agreement about that kind of being the case. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that could be some kind of stopgap. I don't know anymore. But that's okay. That's okay. I really do like Hartbeespoort. I really do like it here. I think that's the part of me that feels so somber about the situation as it is. Because there's not much I can do. Not in my current financial state, right? Like I'm not earning enough money to do something about it. To go somewhere else, to rent another place in this area. Like that's just not available to me right now. And it feels like I'm being defeated, It feels like I've lost. I have. Jeez, I've lost a fuck ton. I've lost $5,000 worth of stuff over this year. I've lost. I have. But I've gained many other things as well. I've gained new friends. I've gained relationships that I could have never hoped for have I not come into this space. I've gained the opportunity, to meet Jovan during this year of abundance as well. So in that way, maybe there's some sort of trade-off that happened. But I'm kind of done trading now. I'm ready to start cashing in, bro. Please. Please have mercy on my soul. I need some rest. I got gray hairs this year. I actually became more old. That's how it works, right? I aged. Get the fuck out fun. Thank you, Kristen. Seriously. I appreciate that. I value you, Melty. I know. I know. I was just doing like a little play on words. How the people that value me at this space value me because I have stuff to steal, apparently. And they will keep stealing it until there's nothing left. The only stuff that hasn't been stolen of mine is the stuff that I keep in my room now. Literally everything else has been stolen. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, literally. Actually, that's actually the truth. Oh, goodness. It's fine. We'll be on stream, and even those who don't make it today, love is true. Melt, you do have some strobing effect of the sunlight at the moment. Think the environment sorted us out. I'm sorry, it's probably the Levies. You were clearly, you clearly are valued where you are, Melt. Not just in a healthy way. That's kind of the joke I was kind of pulling on both of us, Sam. I agree. I need to go somewhere where I'm valued differently, because if I'm only valued for the stuff they can steal from me, eventually they'll steal my organs, right? Because I won't have any more shit to steal. So I need to make a plan to not be here. That's the plan right now. Sounds like a good plan. Sounds like a great plan. I like this plan. This is some ice cream candy. That tastes like a breath of fresh air to me. I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Mary Jane. I have been dissociating hard today, like extra hard. Not letting myself really feel. But I have been letting myself think about the future, and it still feels hopeful. Like these experiences that I've sustained in this environment haven't really deterred me or convinced me otherwise of the goodness of humanity. It has convinced me that I value security, which I really dislike that. I think that's the biggest thing they stole from me. I used to think security is a kind of tyranny. But I think complacency might be even worse. And I hate that. I hate that for both of us. That fucking sucks. To say it in so many words. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for both of us, really. But we cannot be complacent. Which means that our life will end up being a lot more, I want to say almost the word tight, like strict, squinting, bright in a way. We'll have to be tuning our neurons. Maybe until the technology will catch up and we don't have to be as vigilant anymore. Goodness. Because that's the thing that my brain tries to do, at least, right? Is like take responsibility for the situation, acknowledge that I valued living here more than I valued keeping my stuff. And I don't know if that's the way I should articulate it. That feels kind of like I'm being a reductionist to an extreme that's not exactly helpful anymore. But yeah, that is kind of the point we're at. asking ourselves what we value. Because again, that is, I feel, literally the question that is being asked of me right now. Because we've had things of value taken a few times now, and it hasn't been significant enough. Maybe significance is not the right word. It hasn't been devastating enough to garner a reaction. And I feel like, again, a part of me, even though this is a sort of reaction, a part of me, again, doesn't want to let this experience garner the reaction of, like desolation or oblivion in me. That dissociation that lets you disappear instead of lets you think about the future instead. Thinking about all of these Zen koans we hear about, nothing being ever separate from you. And in that way, nothing can be stolen. And then creating balance in my mind as well, and the reminder that ultimately the thing that I value more than anything, more than any of the stuff that's been stolen, is my life. And that I still have, despite the fact that there were people in my home last night. Right? That there's been people in the house multiple times. Am I insane? No, I'm poor. It's a difference. And I'm saying that kind of coyly, but that is unfortunately the state many people are living in right now. Where you can't really afford to just end your contract, forego your deposit and go somewhere else, because one, somewhere else is probably more expensive than where you are right now, and two, you can't even afford to live right now as it is. And I have to, at the same time, come to the acknowledgement, the conclusion that even though that is the case, I am still more privileged, probably significantly so, than the people stealing my stuff right now. Right? That apples for apples, the life that we're living and the life that we'll get to continue to live, they can keep stealing from me for the rest of my life and I'll probably still end up living a better life. And that's not me trying to be like, yeah, gotcha. It's the acknowledgement of what's going on almost, and then trying to understand it. Am I understanding it? Is it balance? Yes. Balance feels like such an easy answer, to understand it without understanding it. But it feels right. I've been spinning this little yin yang ring of mine the whole day. And it has been an experience of, there's a butterfly that just flew past me again. This experience of transformation. Now, transformation is necessary. I really hope that butterfly flies past us. Oh, please. That would make me so happy. It's beautiful. It's mostly black, and then it has colorful specks on the parts that's not black. I don't know if it's a monarch. I think it's too yellow to be a monarch, but it might be. Thank you, friends. Louisiana, blessing us. Kristen, too. Thank you again, loved ones. I appreciate you, friends. Funny way to put it. Thank you for pointing it out, Kristen. My caveman eyes and stoner reflexes are making me tense. If only valued for the things that can steal from me. Well, you ain't moving to the US, that's for sure. People want to steal things from you in the US as well. Maybe they want to steal your time. Maybe they want to steal your soul in the US. Sam, is that what you're talking about? Again, coming back to this grandiose perspective of nothing can be stolen from you. I am a giver by nature. I enjoy giving my time to things, especially if they are in the pursuit of making the world more beautiful. And in that way, taking from me the things that I use to make the world more beautiful makes it harder for me to make the world more beautiful, right? And then all of us suffer. Now all of us are sad, bro. Congratulations. You sold the stuff you stole from me for $20 and you're gonna, get $20 worth of drink out of that over the next few days. Huzzah. Huzzah, congratulations, celebrations. I'm being salty now. You know what? That actually feels lighter. Unironically, should do that more. Like water of a duck's back, right? Melt. I understand the security concern. As an ASD person, the balancing act of life requires a strict feeling at times, but you learn to cope. I have been coping, bro. I've been learning how to cope, and I don't know if my coping mechanisms are healthy. I mean, it goes smoke a lot of weed. That's basically baseline. That's baseline. That's cope. That's cope number one. I mean, a lot is relative. You might think, oh, Melt is smoking hundreds of dollars of weed. No, I grow most of it of my own. One, and then it ends up being like maybe on a heavy day, I would say at most 3 grams, which I don't know what that in ounces is, but essentially it's like 3 joints, and that's a heavy day. Like I'm trying to overdo it almost. For most days, maybe like 1 joint, 10 Dynavap hits in the whole day. But that to me is still a lot because it's a lot in my mind is a frequency thing, not necessarily a volume thing. Because when I used to smoke, actually by burning it, I would smoke more throughout a day, but I would end up smoking less frequently because it was so heavy on my mental load in my system. And now since we're vaping, the actual THC evaporating, I should say technically, the THC off of the leaves instead of burning it, it ends up being a lot lighter on my body and my mind. And in that way, the frequency ends up going significantly up. So that's coping mechanism number one. Then there's coping mechanism number two, where it goes as a cycle of eating more food. Like I'll buy a bunch of berries, and I think it's called as well. What else? Yeah, and peanut brittle. Big bags of peanut brittle. Like this 1 kilogram, like 2 pound bags of peanut brittle for $4 here. I know. Like how do you not eat that? Like I'm struggling with the same thing. But then again, coping mechanism. Then I eat. I find myself in this state of like, and then I eat instead. That's something else to think about for a second. And then it's kind of that looping back of I do that for a while, and then I find a certain level of discomfort. It either becomes apparent to me energetically that I'm no longer operating at the same frequency that I'm supposed to, or it's a body image thing where I feel like I'm not me. Like I'll literally look at myself and be like, "What are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to yourself?" And what's the third one? Third one is ambition. Third one is like trying to do something, trying to push myself in a certain direction. Coping mechanism number three. Is there a third one? Distraction. Think just general distraction. There's so many ways. I'm a very big fan of YouTube, and there is a distribution of the stuff that I watch. I would be lying if I said 60% of the content I watch was educational. I think 53 to 55 is a closer estimate. Probably getting called out by my AI in the future right now, bro. Please, I'm pulling at straws here. Some of it is straight up memes, like what I would consider brain damage. You're watching it for the sake of watching something, and specifically for the sake of not using your brain, at least in that moment. Because sometimes using your brain sucks, especially when it's in a certain gear of existence. Is there more? I can tell you about the other content, again, educational, someone building something, someone explaining something, some discovery, some technology progression, some like that's I really like knowing stuff like that. The more I know that stuff is happening out there, the more calm it brings me. It's like, oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness, there's progress. There's progress because you look around in this world sometimes and you wonder, right? So I like showing myself that there is progress. Then there is people. There's a bunch of people on YouTube that I love, and I like spending time with them, right? In that way, then I'll almost watch your content on principle. I'll be like, okay, here we go, kind of vibes. Is there more coping mechanisms? I'm happy I don't drink. I'm happy I don't do any habit-forming drugs. Caffeine hasn't been a problem for me this year much. I think because of my state, caffeine does the opposite of helping. It's like, oh, now you're thinking about all of the stuff, but faster. Yay! More iterations. Is there more? Is there more? I feel like those are the main ones at least. Think generally, I have been pretty non-verbal. I talk enough, but I don't really talk. It's almost like I'm operating on some sort of robot frequency, like a chat model. Like I'll say the things that is expected to be said for the sake of not saying nothing, because that's awkward. But that's basically the extent of it. And then I spend most of my time thinking. Oh, thinking. Is that valuable? That's something I should think about. There's a helicopter flying over us. A helicopter! In the future, there are birds in the sky, and that's normal to us. We've come to expect these things. Oh, envision you spreading your wings wide. Thank you. Yeah, maybe I'll have to go back somewhere where it's familiar, like some sort of migratory bird, like some sort of migratory duck, or something. Melt, not loving it to you. With you on the housing struggles, buddy. It's hard here. And we're coming up to the wire. Melt, sorry you have to deal with the housing situation. Bless, bro. Thank you for the presence, man. My boss makes $1 while I make a dime was a poem for a simpler time. Now my boss makes millions and I take home pennies. Yeah, they fucking stealing from us, literally. Stealing our lives for living. Stealing our lives so that we can live. And if we don't let them steal our lives, we don't get to live. Who thought this was a good idea? All right. And then there's this fervent fear of like, oh no, the gummies are gonna win. Oh, the gummies are coming for us. Why are you so on edge, bro? If you were so like confident and secure in this system that you've built, you wouldn't worry about stuff like that, would you? Would you? Would you know? About my financial security. Yeah, I hear you, bro. Learning how to play the stock market can help you there. It's unsavory, certainly, but having assets instead of just shit that appreciates can help protect you. Yeah, these companies are bigger than countries, and that's kind of what's happening right now. And we need to come to some sort of situation to realize that the spaces we live in that way, will become countries too. With us being able to produce our own energy, what we consider our community and our space and our home, our town, our city, our country, that concept is going to become more like this, I believe. Then it will be like, oh, this spot on planet Earth, this is ours. I hope at least, it's gonna be an association kind of thing, where you want to be in certain places because of the level of contribution that society brings on both sides of the spectrum. Society contributing to the individual, and then the individual being empowered to contribute to society. That is what is required of us to make the changes make the changes required of us. And it is going to be hard. But I think AI is going to help, because again, it's going to completely shift our value measure. What is valuable? Really, what is valuable? When everything has been made post scarce, right? Nothing is scarce anymore. Like, there is no such thing as scarcity, technically. In an infinite universe, it's only a matter of reach and distribution, ultimately. And that reach and distribution is a matter of technology and energy. And that technology and energy is rapidly progressing on planet Earth right now. We have figured it out, metaphorically speaking. With renewables and batteries, we can power our society. And we will. Oh, we will. And what is that going to look like? What is that going to look like? Especially so when it comes to what we value afterwards. What will we value? I really hope we come back to valuing nature. I've seen a trend towards that, at least, so I believe it will be so. I see a quail flying. But, there's also the extreme of us becoming like a techno planet, where we just like mine the planet into oblivion for more tech. We clad the earth in chrome. Why would we do that? One of the infinite possibilities we could find ourselves within. Dyson Sphere, our own planet. You could technically. I think it would be a kind of Dyson Sphere. Maybe it would be called something else, but turning a planet into a computer sounds hardcore. No, stop! No, stop it, future iterations of self. We're gonna do it the nature way. Flowers and vines. My idea of the perfect building is, and this has been inspired in part by Jovan. We had this conversation about building cities of the future. But imagine a dandelion pod, right? So a massive mass, if you will, at the front of it, then a towering figure, and then more mass as like a distribution system to stop that thing from falling as fast. Maybe it wouldn't work in the same physics as a dandelion little seed on this scale, but it could work with, other forms of technology. Essentially, this biological computer, drops in a space and has within that plant DNA coded to be something specifically, like a building, right? And just imagining this biological mass growing with the matter that is available to it in that space into what it's supposed to be. And then it continues to live afterwards as well. It doesn't die after it's done growing. It becomes a living organism that lives and breathes the air alongside you. And that as well is a protective barrier towards erosion. Having these green cities that have literally been grown. Maybe that's a long time in the future though. Sounds nice though. I value that as an idea though. So we got to my toilet paper. Yeah, our participation is especially compulsory. Melt, I love the using your brain, self-awareness there. Bless. Melt, you're moving back to where your parents live, right? That's probably going to be the most economical of options in the short term. You can save some money and then find something else more to your liking. About time Sam got 1 Gs. Hey Joe, it's nice having you here too. Marvin, Mariah, jeez, it's nice having you here. Accountability is hard, Cardi. Might hurt your teeth, but it tastes so sweet. Accountability. The strain I vaped today is called ice cream candy. And I know we weren't talking about candy, and I don't suggest we do. But when you talk about biting into something that's hard and sweet, I think about like sugar candies. And it felt synchronous to me. It's nice having you here, Mariah. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. I have nugs gifted to me by Jay Victor. Woo! It saw some sunlight for a second. It's not supposed to. It's called? This is not the right name. It's called pistachios? Pistachios. Hum yum 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 yum. You like that? Ew. Yeah, it smells. It smells nice too. This one smells complex. I think citrus is definitely the carrying terpene there. Pine and mango. It smells nice. It smells very fruity as a descriptor as well. I'm gonna miss this space too. I do acknowledge that part. Like this space was definitely not all bad. I think maybe there is value in acknowledging that part as well. Thank you, world. Hello, world, and thank you, world. Hmm. Yeah. Felt like a break. Felt like a moving of ourselves to a new space. Love that saying. Accountability is a hard candy. Might hurt your teeth, but it tastes so sweet. Accountability. There's still a lot of information left in that bowl. Can't let it go to waste. Have I been keeping myself accountable in this space? Not perfectly. That'll do it. That's definitely, I think, enough. There might still be volume left in there. There is, but I'll give this back. Thank you for this gift, Mary Jane, Mama Gaia, Victor, for the gift, for the friend who is the farmer, for this little tok toki. It's one of those little bugs next to me again. He might make an appearance in stream a little bit later if he keeps climbing higher. I made grits. How do you have your grits? Good question. Are you a butter and sugar kind of grits person? Are you a... my most recent pop experience was a chicken breast that got baked, that I deboned, that I chopped into small bits. And I'm trying to think if there was something else with that. I'm pretty sure there was. Pieces of tomato, yeah, and some pop. Stirred together. It's kind of nice. Great. How do I bite an apple with these whiskers? I keep getting mustache in my teeth. Butter, not too thick. There we go. Yeah, I like mine the same way. Malo. I haven't had it the most recent time like that technically, but I do. Maybe the lipstick trick will help. Malo. Open your mouth for the bite. Extend your teeth past your lips or your stash and take the bite. So you eat like this? I'm sorry you had to see that. That was a quick tutorial that I regret showing you. Did I put my Dynavap down somewhere? Yeah, see. I guess I got extra relaxed. Double relaxioed. Okay, I just put it in the baggie. But I didn't put it in the bag that goes inside the bag, of course. Silly me. I've been having this conversation about bagception recently. Do you like bags? Maybe that could be a random ass question I can just ask you. Do you value, keep the topic relevant, do you value bags? Is a bag something you value? Is a pocket a kind of bag? Would you say so? No? Interesting. I didn't always like bags, but I'm coming around to them. I'm noticing that as something in me. I have found in my life more value for bags now than I did in my past. And that's fun. It's kind of fun. I can value things later without having to value them now. Sounds kind of like a cop out, Little bit. I don't know if there's any copping out happening there, but still, something to think about. Mm, I didn't know that would work so bags. I'll share mine on Discord. Women value the shit out of their pockets, mostly because we don't have them anymore. Purses were designed solely to convince women that they need to spend more money on extra shit. So, like, let's be real. Some things that you don't want in your pocket. You don't want a stick of lipstick, a lip balm, a little pad of concealer. I don't know. I'm trying to like tune into the female fractal, not stereotypically, of course, right? But you don't want all of that stuff in your pockets. You just don't, right? And maybe you do. Maybe there's a woman out there that's like, oh yeah, Mel, I fucking do want that shit in my pockets because I don't have. Okay, I'm sorry. Point taken. I, however, if I had to do all of that stuff, I wouldn't want to have it in my pockets. I would want to have it in like some separate little, what do you call it, bag. That's right. Or a purse, if you will, if that's the word you want to use instead. Checks out. Makes sense to me. I do get it. And then there is a certain level of accessorizing. I want to accessorize this little baggie of mine. It's part of the plan. We do say things about ourselves with the way we adorn ourselves. And I think a bag can be a part of that. Thinking about the fact that we have discovered like prehistoric bags, people. I'm a pocket. Okay, no. I'm a pocket man burning out his fuse up here alone. No, Mojo. I'm also a pocket man. I'm so into bags these days. I like pockets as well. I have one pair of pants that has two pockets. One that's like a pocket you can just put things into, and the second a pocket that has a zip on it. And to be honest, I really like the pair of pants. I don't like the pocket situation. And then I have another pair of pants that has 6 pairs of pockets. And I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm like, nice. 6 pockets? Sign me up. I have 6 different places to put 6 different things. Compartmentalizing my reality. But, and this is the drawback, when you start doing that, when you start actually utilizing that space, your legs become laden. Your pants have some sort of dynamics, as the matter start to take on momentum of their own. Which brings you back to wanting a bag. And I think there's like some sort of happy balance of both having pants with a lot of pockets and a bag. Boom. Rocked in. Now you got maybe a second bag. Maybe a bag inside of your pants so you can. And I'm joking in part about this, but this has literally been a certain narrative that has generated in my being. I'm realizing that there's a certain value system. I don't understand it yet. I want hammer space. I think that's the Marvel term for having an infinite room where you can just keep putting things, tools, pieces of tech that you've already built would be very handy. Can I have, please? Please give me an infinity pocket. Pockets during the Victoria era were super genius. They were belts women wore beneath their top skirt, just beneath convenient access holes, hidden in the folds of their skirt. Nice. Compartmentalization. Has anyone watched Outlander? I feel like I did, but I feel like maybe it didn't make enough of an impact on me. Did I watch Outlander? I don't know, actually. So I'm going to have to see if I can find what to see that I see what I can find that to see what it looks like. The pocket belts. Do any of you like wearing belts? Belts, I feel very much, at least in my life, has been something you do because it's necessary almost. It's like a necessity thing. Either your pants are too big and you need help keeping it tight to your body, or it's like an optics thing. You need to be seen wearing a belt now when you're wearing a belt. I don't particularly enjoy belts. I once wore a satchel. I once wore a satchel. It added too much heat to my lower back, or to any point on which it was contacting my body, because it had surface area that was attached. This little sideways satchel that I'm wearing these days at least hangs off the side of my body, so it doesn't add heat in the same way. What are we going to value in the future? So my mind, I'm really asking this question because bags is a kind of necessity thing as well. Somebody 50 years from now might say the exact same thing. They might watch this stream and say the exact same thing I just said about belts, about bags. Goes, Melt, a bag is a necessity thing, bro. Like, you only take a bag with you because you have to, not because it's something that you like doing. It's like a have to kind of thing. You don't want to do that. You want to have this super suit that we wear 50 years from now, that's made out of nanomachines, that creates a electron barrier or magnetic propulsion barrier, right? Electromagnetic propulsion barrier between you and your skin. And then it's nanomachines all the way. It can, of course, clad you from the rays, harden up if it senses damage coming towards your little limbs, keep you safe from penetra forces, maybe even keep you cold. That's the first feature it needs to figure out. That's the one I want. Keep you cold. And then, ideally, when you want something, when you need something that is matter, that is made out of atoms, that you usually have to have a bag to carry with you, you just, with your machine interface and these machines that you have as an interface now, materialize. You usually use, oh, I want this tool, part of your suit, part of your armor, right? It becomes a little bit thinner in total. And now you have a piece of mattress you can wield and do stuff with. And then as soon as you're done, it melts back into the rest of your suit. Give me, please. Please. Please give me. And if you won't give it to me, I'll make it. Just give me enough time and resources. This is why we have to live 1,000 years, friends. So we can do the most insane stuff possible. And maybe that won't even be insane by 1,000 years from now standards. It probably would be pretty trivial even. Suddenly grows more excited. What will we value in the future? Again, I like that question. It's an important one. We should ask ourselves that frequently. Has anyone seen Sam? Now I'm going to have to go and look. Is that what we call the modern day fanny pack? Those things, rock the hell out of those things. Yeah, fanny pack is basically the word I should have used if I wanted to be more accurate and properly communicative with the words I chose to use. Because, it is kind of a fanny pack. It was, at least, fanny pack vibes. And I wasn't too bothered about the optics of wearing a fanny pack. I was more bothered about the fact that this fanny pack would add like this layer of heat onto any part of the body that I would have to shift it. And I would literally throughout the day shift it to my side and then shift it to my back and then shift it to my other side and then shift it to my front again, just to not have that sense of heat build up. It wasn't pleasant. But maybe that sense of heat build up could work for someone who is a little bit more icy. All right, the fire. I wouldn't Joe, largely because the types of pockets didn't budge out and they were not noticeable in the way a fanny pack is. I twitch. Hello, friends. Hey, Joe. It's nice seeing you, bro. Bless you. There's a scene where a character is pretending to travel back in time and she constructs this magnificent outfit with a zillion hidden pockets and a superhero type undergarment filled with useful stuff like penicillin and medical equipment. Suddenly, you are the doctor, right? You just go places. I wanted to say you just go places and hope for people to need a doctor. And then I was like, I don't think you should want that. Gobbity goobity goobs. Hey, bro, it's nice having you. I only caught the dead. I would only be caught dead with a fanny pack. Oh, bro, that's a work of art right there. You know, a gob posed on ground, fanny pack to the side of his body. Someone puts it on afterwards. This is morbid. I'm sorry, Gob. Why did we go here, bro? I think you would still be able to rock it though. You know. What kind of bag do you like? Are you more a backpack kind? Laptop bag type of person? Would you be caught alive or dead with a satchel like this that has like a crossover style of wearing? Half dead, half alive, somewhere in purgatory. It keeps my Dynavap, bro. It's very close to my heart. Has an important job. Today's lunch menu is chicken, shrimp, and sausage, and peppers, and onions, and noodles. And you can have peanut butter and jelly and whole wheat. That sounds good. Nice. I would only be caught. I love that. I never carried a purse. Wasn't efficient with a skateboard. It wasn't. Uh, I was either always a fanny, a tiny backpack, or my bra. Yeah. What do we call that? Uh, Omasahan song. Like it's like pocket. My grandma would have handkerchiefs in there, and then if you so much as sniffled, if you went, and you would not have the wherewithal to stop, but you would have the wherewithal to feel that this thing is warm. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to suffer that in reality, so you can at least suffer it in retrospect. Not suffering, growing from, growing more despite of. My like I was such an autistic little kid, and my spasms and the way I reacted to things, it was never understood. Like I even didn't understand why I reacted so viscerally the way I did. Huh. Coping mechanisms maybe. Checks out. Two little burpees just flew by. Lozana, I need one of those. Remind me of my legendary D&D dream item, the portable hole. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's not a purse. It's a satchel. Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Briefcase lately. Gravity goes a briefcase, man. You have a laptop in there, or are you all like filed up? My mind instantly wants like all of the details. I want to know like what it's made of. I want to know if it has like a soft touch handle. I want to know if it has like a combination lock. Skibbity boobity me, dude. Help me. And is it something that you feel you like being seen with? As I'm asking that question, I feel both of us looking at you from a third person perspective. and looking at what Gab looks like with a briefcase. And weirdly enough, I think it does add to the look. It kind of adds, at least in me, a sense of mystery. Like, what's this guy doing? Where's this guy going? And what's he doing with that briefcase? What's inside that briefcase? Briefcase has that energy of like what's inside of it, kind of. But I don't look at a backpack and think about what's inside their backpack. But a briefcase, automatically there is some sort of level of inquisition that arises in me. Am I the only one? Oh, do let me know. Briefcase. Is that genuine leather melt? Yeah. Yeah, it is. South Africa has a very real and long established meat industry. So, alongside that, there is the leather that is created from those animals. And it is a technically renewable resource. Maybe it's not the best thing to think of it as such. But at the same time, it is also something that lasts if you take care of it. And for me, with the kind of lifestyle I want to live, keeping my things for a long time is the base case scenario for me. So I think it's a good material for doing that. Maybe better materials will be created soon, and I'm looking forward to that as well. Okay, that is stylish, right? Right? Let me show more. Back here, there's a nice little pocket where I can keep my wallet, right? Because I also don't like the feeling of having a wallet in my pocket. Action Marie, don't like that. Doesn't feel good to me. Then there's a little pocket for the wand. And then finally, little one, you can put anything in here. It's true. Speaks truth. Yeah. And again, it has like one side of it has the hooking point, so it automatically has like a lean to it. So it's very like. You know what the best part is, Gabagoo? At least this is a good part for me. It was $22. $22. I got that at the start of this year. Close to start of this year. I lost my little baggie that my dad got me at the start of this year. That was the first incident. And I got this one as a replacement of that initial one. Man, it feels nice kind of recanting where it came from too. I had this conversation with a lady called Alicia. She does fine art on leather. And she's gonna charge me another $22 to create a little piece for me. Trying to make that happen. But it is a matter of getting to each other. And she's gonna have to take my bag and have it in her workshop for a while. Gab is next level. This is true. I bow to the immortal. I immortal says Mala. So I just gotta like the warmth of the handkerchief was the first uncomfortable thought. Jeez, yeah. No, it was truth. I was realizing like, oh, I am aware. And I am aware that there is something screaming inside of me. And I am aware that I'm not supposed to let that screaming thing out into this environment because that would be frowned upon. So I just go. And I deflect. I make jokes. Make a little bit of a ha-ha. Indiana Jones had a satchel. Truth. And I like that as a comparison. I'm gonna take that one home. And like, Indiana Jones is cool to me as a kid. I haven't seen Indiana Jones since becoming an adult, but I'm sure it's still pretty cool. The satchel is for Indy's grinder and his butt. True. We all know pickpocketing, but have you heard of put-pocketing? When I see loose pockets, I sketch something silly, or I find coupons or other trash, and I put it in their pockets as a warning. I better be a little bit more vigilant. I don't know if you were here for it, but at the start of today's stream, vigilancy was one of the things that we talked about. Indy carries with him a contingency plan, respect. Put pocketing, Joe. Only in the Skyrim sense, where I'm carefully scrolling through my potion inventory to find something horrible to put in there. Oh dear, I stepped outside. And it's a little nippy. Winter is coming. It's true. Sam, over encumbering the enemies with iron arm. What's wrong, bro? Runs away, started shooting with arrows. It's like, why you're so slow, bro? He's slowly but surely like shimmying forwards, trying to reach you. You're running away. Arrows him in the face a little bit more. Get you some leather conditioner for that baby. I have some leather conditioner in my closet. I already bought a little bottle of it to take care of my leathers. And you can make some shea butter, a bittersweet almond. Beeswaxing can also be used for waterproofing. True. I don't think they're waterproof. I don't think they're waterproof. But I don't know if I want to do that either. Maybe after I give them some good oils or something. How are you finding the one? I ordered one months ago, but it shipped to a friend's house. And we haven't seen each other in person, so I haven't tried mine. There's a learning curve. At first, you're going to ask yourself why. I am so familiar with using a blowtorch, you're gonna say to yourself. And then you'll realize that there is a certain convenience that comes with not having to do that. And as soon as you figure out how to use it, it's pretty nice. You don't have to worry about wind. You don't have to worry about the optics of blowtorching something. That's basically, I think, the gist of it. You can also do it without being able to see. If you have your eyes closed, you can still technically find your way around it. So I'm still love again to you, bro. Melt, go to the screaming forest. Have I missed some essential lore? Is there a screaming forest? Joe, that's genius. I was just flooding the Breton asshole in Whiterun with all of my accidental loots, but I like that a lot better. I had a lady in a pool pay for her drink with cash from her bathing suit. I was vigilant to mask the horror on my face as I walked back to the castle register with a soggy bill. One of those kind of situations, right? Oh, oh, oh goodness. Right, like trying to do it like a little bit to the side as well because you don't want to breathe any of the molecules that evaporate off of it. And technically it's still legal tender, right? Even wet money is legal tender. My first experience like that was when, not exactly like that, but I wanted some ice cream. We were in a place called Sun City, and I wanted some ice cream. And I went to my dad, who was in the swimming pool, and I asked him for some money. And then he like stands up out of the water and puts his hand in his pocket, which is basically underwater, and then takes some money out of his pocket. And then he's like peeling this slice of paper mache, essentially what it looks like to me, right? Like off of the rest of the cash, and he gives me this thing. And I have this sense of like, I think you've ruined it. Like you have this irreversibly destroyed this thing that is valuable. And I have that same almost like this is actually a piece of trash that I'm holding right now mentality. But I do still brave it. I walk up to the ice cream man and I tell him what I want. And I give him this soggy note and he takes it. And I'm like, oh, all right, cool. Didn't think that was gonna happen, I say to myself, but he's probably taken so many wet notes, literally being at a swimming resort, my moment wasn't special to him in the same way. Wasn't valuable in the same way. Being a kid, getting money from your dad is, or from a parent, from an adult. I think that's basically where the seed gets set, where you become convinced of this value structure. Because you literally cannot have it if someone doesn't give it to you at that age. We have rules about that here. The merchants won't bother with you if they catch you pulling currency out of your under things. Good. Yeah, there should be some sort of hygienic standard. That is good. Nice. With that, that's something to think about. Wet money is legal tender. Internet money is legal tender. Huh? That feels like a whole mode shift. What do we value? What do we value in the future? Again, it's a question that plagues me. Because it's this matter of, do we wait? Do we wait until we value the right things? Is that helpful? Doesn't feel very helpful. All right. I know Joy Vive hasn't been here today, but I think today is her birthday. Maybe yesterday was her birthday, but she did say that she's flying right now to celebrate her birthday. So just send her some good vibes too. This is kind of melting my brain right now. I'm pretty sure yesterday's card was the yes card, right? We got here and I just had a whole thing. Tomorrow is Joy V's birthday. Thank you for letting us know. Hello, Zana. I hope she's here for it. But if she's not, send her love. Send her so much lovin's. And we pulled the no card today. Wait! Postpone. Pause. Say no. Actually, no. No, actually. This one doesn't just have no as the reading, I promise. I thought so for the first time that I pulled it, after pulling the yes card. No. You are being called to either pause or say no. Yeah, I am being called to say no. I'm saying no to being exploited. Saying yes to something that isn't in alignment with you will drain your energy and your time. Hold out for a congruent, aligned 100% yes. Often, when we're looking for guidance to make a decision, it can be frustrating not to move into a clear and considered action. However, timing is everything, and not receiving clear guidance is actually guidance in itself. We all go through times known as waiting periods. These times are crucial for our body to regenerate, for the new path to formulate, and for the universe to begin creating things on our behalf. We don't need, you don't need to be plowing forward all the time to move forward. A potent, congruent yes, when the time is right, will put you ahead leaps and bounds. Don't force, don't force things now, just because it seems like the only option. Take a breather and wait. The waiting is actually very productive. For when the time for movement comes, you will be ready to dive right in. Use this time to regenerate and ponder what you truly want. Consider the options. If the options are not clear, don't fear, because this time is a gift. Use it to tend to your garden and take a moment of rest. To take a moment from your busy life to clear the decks and prepare for the time that will come in the future. For come spring, clarity will bloom, and you will have the reserves, space, and drive to say yes and act and move quickly. Yeah, that feels very appropriate. Might be your spring, but we do share frequencies. You are just now entering your winter. Enter the mastery. We pulled this card directly after the yes card as well. I do like that. That feels very synchronous. Feels very magical. Feels like everything happens as it's supposed to. Yes, this experience sucketh. Yes, it's true. Also, maybe I needed to feel these things to find myself on my next journey. The only way to, right? Finding out what we value. You can only find out what you value by having it tested and taken. Is that true? I don't feel like that's true, but it feels very. You can only know what you value by having it tested and taken. Beware. Beware, young person. Do not let the follies of the jester sway your minds and convince you that there is no value in the things of matter. Do not let him convince you that consciousness will reign supreme, and then there will be no more stealing. Surely that's possible, right? Surely? Tell me that's possible. I know it's been a hope of our species so many times over. But we never had the same tools we have right now. We never had the same reach. We never had the same language. And you could argue that this language has been muted, has been made to not properly communicate the truth of what we're saying. And that could be true. But I think if you use something enough, eventually, this thing that we are will recognize that pattern. And I trust that that pattern, at least the pattern I've recognized, is love. I am still alive for another day. That's good. Christian is calling me. Let's see. All right. I hope everything is connected again. Christian called me. Roland says hi. Hey, dude. It's nice having you here, too. I'm going to get finished up. Thank you, universe, for another day on planet Earth. I receive this message of that it is time to leave. 44 days. 44 days. That's how much time I'll give myself. 44 days, and then I will not be here anymore. That's how it'll be. Thank you, friends, for manifesting with me. I love you, and I'll see you again soon. On the other side. Goodbye.